I think I had a bit of an existential crisis this morning, standing in front of my bathroom mirror at like 6:00 a.m.
Oh, no. What happened?
I was just looking at this beige tile. You know the kind, right? The standard builder-grade beige that exists in literally millions of homes.
I know it well.
And it hit me that my entire relationship with this room is completely transactional. It is purely get in, get out.
Yep.
I'm there to scrub, brush, check for new wrinkles, and then I'm gone. It's basically a utility closet with plumbing.
That is the default setting for most of us, I think. We treat the bathroom as a machine for hygiene. It's functional, it's sterile, and it's usually the very last place in the house we'd think to spend any, quality time.
Exactly. But then I opened up the source material for today, The Art of Elevating the Modern Sanctuary, and I felt like I was reading about a completely different planet.
It's a big shift in thinking.
It is. The whole premise here is honestly a little radical compared to how most of us live. It argues that we shouldn't just see the bathroom as this functional box, but as an immersive interior environment.
And that's a fascinating pivot. The text really challenges that utilitarian view by introducing the concept of the bathroom as a liminal space.
Yeah.
A sort of threshold between your sleeping self and your public self.
Okay, a liminal space.
Yeah, and if you treat it as a daily retreat, which is the phrase the source uses, you aren't just renovating a room, you're actually engineering a better start to your day.
So the mission of this deep dive is to figure out how. How do specific design choices, lighting, materials, layout, transform a routine into what the author calls a refined experience?
Exactly.
Refined experience is a great phrase, but I have to admit, I want to hold the author's feet to the fire on this whole narrative concept.
Okay.
The text claims a bathroom should have a narrative arc. That sounds a little, I don't know, high-minded for a place where I floss my teeth.
I get that.
But then, as I read through the section on lighting, I kind of started to see what they meant. It's not just about visibility, it's about setting a scene.
It creates the mood for the narrative. And the source starts with what it calls the powerful element, which is natural light. Now, usually when people think of bathroom windows, they immediately panic about privacy. But this deep dive argues that natural light is actually a structural building material.
That's the part that grabbed me. The idea that light interacts with the hard surfaces. It says when daylight hits stone or textured walls, it enhances depth.
Well, think about the physics of it, right? A flat, artificially lit room feels two-dimensional.
Right.
But when you have that raking light from a window hitting a textured stone wall, you get shadows, you get contrast. The source describes this as making the room feel expansive and calmer.
So it stops being a box.
It stops being a box and starts feeling like a volume of space.
And that volume aspect is huge because bathrooms are usually the smallest rooms in the house. The text gives some really specific advice on placement, too. It's not just at a window.
Oh, no, it's strategic.
It says you need to position the hero elements, the tub, the vanity, specifically where that light is going to fall.
That is strategic design. I mean, if you put your vanity in a dark corner and the toilet gets the sunbeam, you've basically failed the layout. The guide suggests that by letting light hit those focal points, you actually reduce the need for decoration. A beautiful slab of marble or a wood vanity is the art when the light hits it correctly. You don't need to clutter the space with knickknacks.
Okay, but let's be real for a second. A lot of our listeners might be dealing with an internal bathroom with no window, or they're getting ready before the sun even comes up.
A very common problem.
The source pivots to artificial lighting, calling it the underestimated tool. And I think this is where most DIY designs really fail. We just slap a grid of pot lights on the ceiling and call it a day.
Which is just the worst thing you can do. That grid of downlights creates these harsh shadows. It gives you those, raccoon eyes in the mirror.
Oh yeah, the worst.
The source emphasizes a layered approach: soft ambient, task, and accent.
I want to dig into that ambient layer because the text links this directly to that sanctuary feeling.
It's your base layer. It's the psychological signal that tells your brain to relax. But the source gets technical here with something it calls the glow factor.
The glow factor.
It's all about indirect lighting. So hiding the actual light source so you only see its effect.
So this is the strip lighting under the vanity or behind the mirror, right?
Yes, but specifically under the vanity is a game changer. The text notes, this adds a sense of luxury without overwhelming the space. Imagine walking in at 2 in the morning.
You don't want to be blinded.
You don't want to turn on the big light, right? A soft glow under the vanity lets you navigate the space without waking your brain up fully. It kind of maintains that dream state.
That's a great practical application. And then for the task lighting, the get work done lights, the source is really adamant about position. It talks about face level lighting.
Sconces or integrated mirror lights, absolutely. You need light coming at your face, not just from above it. This makes sure you're seeing reality, for better or worse, when you're grooming. But that third layer, the accent lighting, is where that narrative idea comes back in. This is about highlighting texture, or plants, or niches. It's purely for drama.
Speaking of texture and drama, we have to talk about materiality. This section of the deep dive was surprisingly dense. It feels like for the last decade, the trend has just been make everything white and shiny. But the source is pushing hard for contrast.
It's pushing against that sterile lab aesthetic.